Now the latest ITV News Meridian in the south.
Good evening, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines here in the south. Sparks fly, incredible pictures as a fireworks warehouse in Southampton catches fire. A school and roads are kept closed.
Parents' anger, a protest march in Hampshire as families tell their council, save our children's centres.
Hampshire County Council's Children's Centre, the patch, saved my life. I will always fight to save the centres, you have my word.
A High Court victory for the Isle of Wight dad, fined for taking his daughter on holiday in term time. What now for other parents?
And join us in the Queen's back garden as we enjoy the sunshine.
And the celebrations for the Queen's 90th birthday.
Good evening to you. A city woke up to a series of explosions this morning as a major blaze took hold in a fireworks shop in Southampton.
Just after 5 a.m, Bitton Road West was lit up by fireworks. They showered one of the busiest routes through the city.
A school and several roads were closed, homes were evacuated and the smoke could be seen for miles. But it's not yet known how the fire started. Andrew Pate has our report.
In a riot of colour and noise, fireworks explode onto the street as a blaze rips through a shop in Southampton, shocking those living nearby.
I've never seen anything like it. Never seen flames that big, huge, dark red flames and black smoke. It was just everywhere, and it was just right outside our door. You know, it was completely opposite our house. Dreadful. And fireworks just exploding out of the front. It was dreadful. When the big explosion happened, the tiles all flew off the roof, all on fire, and they just landed everywhere, outside the house, in the road, everywhere, and it's just all on fire. It's dreadful.
This road was closed around 5:30 this morning, and all the houses within a 100-metre radius evacuated as the crews tried to contain the problem.
And there was like few fireworks popping, and then after about 10 minutes there was a loud explosion. There was firemen running away.
It just expanded and kept exploding. There was a large fire coming from the back of the building over the top of the roof. It just cascaded and it just went bang, just like that.
The fire caused the closure of Bitton Manor Primary School for the day, while some people living in the area lost their water supply due to the large number of hydrants being used.
It was very dramatic when we turned up, lots of bangs and explosions and all the fireworks going off. So our concern was the public safety in the immediate area. Once we were happy with that, then we stopped the fire spreading to the nearby businesses.
The fire started just after 5 o'clock this morning, with Hampshire Fire and Rescue receiving over 50 phone calls from worried residents. They spent much of this afternoon inside the firework factory, trying to work out how the blaze started. Andrew Pate, ITV News, Southampton.
The jury has retired to consider its verdict in the trial of a man accused of murdering a pensioner in a roadside attack. Matthew Daly stabbed Donald Locke 39 times after a minor car crash on the A24 at Findon last year. Over the course of the trial, the court heard how Mr. Daly had been suffering from mental health problems for a decade. He denies murder.
Police are trying to trace the last movements of a man who was found dead at a flat in Dorset. 43-year-old Anthony Taylor was discovered at the Plocks in Blandford yesterday afternoon. He was well known in the area and was often seen walking his dog.
Now, a father from the Isle of Wight who refused to pay a fine for taking his daughter on holiday during term time has won his case at the High Court.
Well, the ruling could pave the way for other similar challenges by parents who take their children out of school for cheaper holidays.
Well, Nia Mason is in our newsroom for us now. Nia, how did all of this come about?
Well, Stacey John Platt from Nettlestone on the island was originally issued a £60 fine for taking his daughter out of school for 7 days on a family trip to Disney World without permission. Because he refused to pay the fine, the cost then doubled to £120. He refused to pay again and was prosecuted by the Isle of Wight Council for failing to ensure his daughter attended school regularly. But Mr Platt successfully argued that his daughter did consistently attend, and magistrates therefore found, last October, there was no legal case to answer. Today, that view was upheld at the High Court.
Quality time with your family on holiday, away from the stresses of daily life, is really, really important. It's really important for my kids. But school attendance is really important, and my children have never been lower than 93% attendance at school on any full academic year. I think that's outstanding attendance. And they've also got outstanding educational achievement at school. They're both doing extremely well at school. And I think a lot of that is because they're happy, they're motivated, because they get to spend quality time together. And taking that away from parents, I think, is doing more harm to children's education than ensuring they're in school every single day.
Now, this victory has been welcomed by other parents currently fighting the system. 64,000 fines nationally have been issued for unauthorised absences since they were introduced 3 years ago. Many of these are because parents say they can't afford to take their children on holiday during peak times.
No, I don't agree with being taken to court. Yes, I do agree with what he's done, because if the holiday people didn't put their prices up, then it would make it so much easier for parents to take their children on holiday.
We're actually going away in a few weeks, and we have booked a holiday during term time, and we're taking the kids out of school because that's the only time we can afford it.
And how are the school about that?
Well, we don't know yet. We've sent a letter in, and we'll find out the consequences once we get back from the holiday.
This case has cost the Isle of Wight Council £14,000. It said it'll be pressing the Department of Education to consider clearer legislation for the benefit of parents, schools and local authorities alike. The government department, meanwhile, has said it's disappointed with the judgment and will examine it in detail. There are plenty of views on our Facebook page, and of course we'll keep you informed on any other developments.
Nia Mason, thank you very much for that.
The call to save Hampshire's children's centres could be heard right across Winchester today as campaigners carried out their biggest protest yet.
They're trying to prevent the closure of 54 Sure Start centres, which could be replaced by 11 regional hubs. The centres provide a range of support services for parents with children under the age of 4.
Well, today the woman spearheading the campaign pleaded with the council to change its mind. Emma Wilkinson was there.
Outside Hampshire County Council, campaigners in full voice. Inside, the woman behind it all tells a silent council chamber why she thinks plans to slash the number of children's centres in the county is wrong.
Imagine trying to travel for a 2-hour round trip on a bus with a 1-year-old and a baby whilst breastfeeding and suffering from postnatal depression. Hampshire County Council's Children's Centre, The Patch, saved my life. I will always fight to save the centres, you have my word.
The council plans to merge all services for children and young people into one organisation. Instead of 54 children's centres, there would be 11 district hubs. The centres currently offer help to all families regardless of need, but the council wants to target support at the most vulnerable. Many here feel it's impossible to categorise who needs help and who doesn't.
Well, my son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy a year ago when we were new to the area, and Sure Start has just provided us with a lifeline. It's been my lifeline for the last year, really.
I think if they close these centres, there'll be so much knock-on.
It's probably going to end up costing more money because you're going to have more women potentially not getting the support early on that would stop them from having problems later on.
These campaigners Campaigners want their message to be heard loud and clear. This is their biggest protest yet. Hundreds of people have marched from the county council offices through the streets of Winchester to King Alfred's statue. The council says these plans could deliver £8.5 million of much-needed savings. But many protesters here worry that those making the decisions just don't know how vital these centres are.
Do you understand what they do?
Yes, I do understand what they do, and I haven't had personal experience myself because my families are grown up. But as I said, I did meet personally with Catherine Ovenden, and I will take fully into account, as far as I can, within the financial constraints we have, some of her concerns.
A final decision will be made in July. In the meantime, campaigners young and old will continue their fight. Emma Wilkinson, ITV News, Winchester.
People are being urged not to approach a man who's wanted for recall to prison. Ryan Brown from Crawley has been released on licence for conviction of actual bodily harm, but he's broken his bail conditions.
You're watching ITV News here in the Meridian region. Thank you for choosing us. Coming up, your weekend weather forecast.
And it's the playoffs, so the fans have more to cheer about as the Seagulls prepare for the first of 2 promotion encounters. As always, for more on all of our stories, do head to itv.com/Meridian. Any views or news, call us please. 0808 1010 095, the number to ring. Or you can get in touch via Facebook, or should you prefer, why not send us a tweet at ITV Meridian. A governor of Southern Health has gone public to criticise the way senior management run the NHS Trust. Peter Bell says there should be a vote of no confidence in senior members, including the Chief Executive, Katrina Percy, and at least 5 others should be removed from their jobs. Southern Health, which cares for vulnerable people in Hampshire, Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire and Dorset, was slammed by the Care Quality Commission for not doing enough to protect patients. It also pointed to bad leadership and a lack of connection between management and staff. Well, one patient, Connor Sparrowhawk, who was 18 and had epilepsy, drowned in a bath in 2013 at a Southern Health unit. The Trust agreed his death could have been prevented. Well, over now to London. We can speak to that governor, Peter Bell. Peter, thank you very much for coming on. The Council of Governors will discuss the state of the management behind closed doors at a special meeting. You're not happy about that?
No, I think it's a stage now where openness and transparency is essential, and I think those discussions need to be in public so the public can see us doing the job the role we're meant to play. I mean, why have people not taken on board the views of the CQC about Katrina Percy's management role? I mean, why have you asked for her to resign? I haven't asked for her to resign. I've put a motion based on what I've heard from other governors and from the public of the concerns, and I put some resolutions forward so there's an open debate in public about the issues and we can clarify just what exactly is the right role, a right course of action for the Trust to take and for the governors to give their view on that. So from a personal point of view, though, on what you've heard so far, would you like her to resign? I'm reserving my judgment on that. I want to hear the views of the others because I'm only a recent joiner to the Council of Governors. Other governors who've been there for a lot longer have a lot more experience and knowledge, and I want to debate with them what the issues are and form a view of the Council of Governors that we can pass on to the board. Patient safety is still very much a concern. What have you got to say to the families who are so worried about their vulnerable relatives? Well, the first thing is that the large majority of staff at Southern Health, in fact, I think all of the staff that I've met at Southern Health are wholly focused on patient safety. And what I want to do is to make sure that everybody's enabled to do their best. The Trust itself says it needs to keep management as it is to right the wrongs and stabilise Southern Health. Do you agree? I've yet to make up my mind on that. It is a hard decision. Do you destabilise it at this point in time, or do the public actually ask us to do more? And that's what the debate is about. We should be watching with great interest. Peter Bell, thank you for talking to us. Thank you. And the ITV Evening News continues with the national and international news at 6:30. Here's Alistair Stewart.
The High Court backs a dad who took his child to Disney in Florida in term time. Fine but unrepentant, John Platt was told today he had no case to answer. Ministers say they'll tighten the rules in England. The IMF says the impact on Britain of leaving the EU would range from bad to very, very bad and could risk recession. And meningitis took his hands and feet. Spurs made his dream come true. Now he wants to be their goalie. Marshall Johnston's remarkable story in full with Charlene White and me at 6:30.
That's an amazing story. And we'll continue the sporting theme now with Chris Morn. And we've said it before, Chris, a big one for Brighton.
Yes, there certainly is this evening, Fred. 6 days after missing out on automatic promotion to the Premier League, Brighton are in South Yorkshire for the first leg of their Championship playoff against Sheffield Wednesday. Twice in 3 seasons, Albion have lost at the semi-final stage in the playoffs. These fans are preparing for another ride on the end-of-season roller coaster.
ITV Meridian Sports Report, sponsored by WeWantAnyCar.com, the Cash for Cars website.
For Albion fans, it's a case of here we go again. Their side finished 15 points ahead of Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship. That'll count for nothing at Hillsborough tonight.
When you go into a playoff, I almost don't think there are any favourites. I think you have 4 teams that all have their qualities, otherwise neither of the 4 teams are going to get there in the first place, and I think it's a very tough call between all 4 teams.
Amid the disappointment of missing out on automatic promotion by just 2 goals, Brighton did extend their unbeaten run to 14 matches. Supporters and players were distraught. Now there's a fresh resolve.
You can look at it 1 or 2 ways. Disappointment for Middlesbrough, but you know, we've got a great opportunity now in front of us. We're in the playoffs. We've got an opportunity to get to the Premier League, so it's exciting times.
After this evening, they'll have the weekend to prepare for the second decisive leg at the Amex. To settle who'll head to Wembley for a chance to reach the Premier League. Well, I wonder if tonight's game will be as frenetic and feisty as Portsmouth's 2-2 draw with Plymouth. The Dockyard Cities meet again on Sunday to see who'll head to Wembley for the League Two playoff final. The Portsmouth fans leaving Fratton last night believe the home draw will give their team the advantage for Sunday's return in Plymouth.
Good result. Our away form's better than our home form, so a draw at home.
Oh, we'll win. We'll win.
Fantastic. Loved every minute of it.
They'd seen Pompey strike inside 3 minutes. Mark McNulty the scorer. 5 minutes later, Plymouth were level. Jamil Matt the scorer. But he's now sweating on a call from the FA after he's coming together with Michael Doyle. The Pompey boss vented his feelings and was sent to the stands. To rub salt into the wounds, Matt acrobatically restored the visitors' lead. Pompey were the stronger in the second period and deserved at least the draw earned by Gary Roberts' spot kick.
It was a game that both teams were full-blooded, both teams wanted to win. There was big decisions, big calls by the referee. Whether he gets them right or wrong is irrelevant. You know, we drew 2-2. It's half-time, the game's evenly balanced, and I think everyone can look forward to a fantastic game on Sunday night.
Now, Southampton manager Ronald Koeman has dismissed speculation linking him with the vacant post at Everton. Worried Saints fans will also take heart from the news that keeper Fraser Forster and James Ward-Prowse have signed new long-term contracts. All this before Saints' final match of the Premier League season, qualification for the Europa League still to be secured as they host Crystal Palace on Sunday. Bournemouth finish their season at Old Trafford. And finally from me, a chip off the old block coming up. The first foal of the unbeaten Frankel made a winning debut at Newbury today. Look at him go on the far side there. I wonder if he'll be as good as his sire. That's Cunco, winning at 7-2 at Newbury this afternoon. We really should have been on that one.
Yes, you never told me, did you?
And more racing at Newbury tomorrow. Great meeting at Newbury.
Big racing at Newbury tomorrow. Chris, thank you very much indeed. Well, now this weekend sees a very special night of celebrations for the Queen's 90th birthday at Windsor Castle.
There'll be 1,500 performers from right across the world, 900 horses, 25,000 spectators and a very special guest of honour.
And also there, our own very special Sangeeta and Simon.
Yes, it's going to be a 90th birthday to remember. We've met some of the acts taking part and we've been speaking to those who know the Queen personally.
Last-minute sound checks and rehearsals are happening in the arena, ready for this evening. But the day started here with the 73rd Windsor Horse Show. Here's Mike Pearce.
Months in the planning, just 2 days before one of the biggest events to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday. Some of the biggest names in entertainment will take part in Sunday's Spectacular, presented by Anton Degg.
I'm part of the narrating and comparing team at this amazing extravaganza with all these horses and all these people. It's terribly moving, actually. There's some wonderful parts, very exciting, but also there's the odd moment where this great orchestra swells up and it's I Vow to Thee My Country by Catherine Jenkins or Zadok the Priest or whatever. It's incredibly emotional.
I shall be narrating a section of the story, because I think we can say that the Queen's life is broken down into the decades, and I'm narrating one section of that. The band will play underneath me, and there's some spectacular action in the arena, which everybody will be watching.
Yes.
Well, not me.
Singing heart out, no one looking.
Well, the final touches have now been made to the arena. In fact, many of the celebrities were here last night for private rehearsals. There will be some 1,500 people in the cast, including hundreds of horses.
You know, it's on a massive scale here, and you can see all the, you know, the 18 months of planning that have gone into this. And I think it'll be an incredible spectacle.
For decades, horses have played a major part of the Queen's life, and it's fitting they'll play a major role on Sunday. The event will include the story of the Queen's life through her 9 decades. A big night too for those leading the musical Spectacular.
A great privilege and an honour to be given the task of conducting this tri-service orchestra. There's not many opportunities you get to do something like this with so many big stars, but also for such a special occasion for Her Majesty the Queen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, all these people come in and they sold out really quickly with the tickets. So for us, the maximum crowds is a benefit to us.
The theme of this year's horse show is a celebration of the Queen's 90th. Those attending say they couldn't be more proud.
I think seeing just the pageant and all the horses that we've read about that are coming to perform, I think that's really exciting.
All the pomp and circumstance, the atmosphere, it's going to be fantastic.
Well, it's the fact that it's for the Queen's birthday, isn't
Yeah.
it? It doesn't happen every year, so we've got to be here, haven't we?
And a memorable night in store for the Queen and the nation on Sunday. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Windsor.
As the Queen is head of state for 16 Commonwealth nations, the show has been designed to reflect all of those countries. Musicians, dancers, choirs, actors and the military all playing a part in this unique celebration, as Fred has been finding out.
Some have come from just down the road. Others have travelled thousands of miles. These are the acts which have been selected for Her Majesty's 90th birthday celebrations. And with 900 horses and 1,500 performers, it promises to be a birthday party fit for a queen. 25,000 tickets went on sale for the 4 days, and they sold out in just a few hours. And on Sunday, the guest of honour, the Queen, will attend. The South Australia Police Band have been rehearsing for months to make sure their performance is one to remember.
We've had a fairly swift rehearsal schedule, but we're certainly turning on the goods and delivering a stellar performance.
The celebrations will also reflect the Queen's long association with the armed forces. The Household Cavalry is one of the oldest and most senior regiments in the army.
It's a lot of pressure on the guys and on the horses and stuff, but everyone always steps up on the night, everyone always gets there on the night.
Known as the Horse Whisperer, the amazing Jean-Francois Pignon's passion for the animals runs as deep as the Queen's.
My horse is happy and Queen happy and me too, and yeah, it's a good moment.
Ranging from 8 to 13, the riders in the Shetland Grand National are the youngest performers, but the honour they've been given hasn't passed them by.
I am playing the Queen as a young child.
That must be very exciting.
Yes, extremely exciting, and it's a huge honour to be playing her.
The The Canadian tenors are used to performing for royalty, but this means a lot.
It's her 90th birthday. She's reigned for so long. You know, it's extraordinary for us as artists to be invited again here on the grounds at Windsor Castle. The show is unbelievable.
Happy birthday, Your Majesty.
Yes, happy birthday.
So expect pomp, pageantry and a lot of pride from everyone taking part, who all want it to be a birthday the Queen will never forget.
What a lineup, and you can see all those acts in a special ITV programme on Sunday night. Here's Anton Deck, no less, to tell us all about it.
We would like to request your company for a unique night of entertainment.
There'll be 900 horses,
1,500 riders and performers from the 4 corners of the world.
470 musicians,
a phenomenal array of special guests,
and 2 charming hosts.
All for one extraordinary lady.
The Queen's 90th birthday celebration, and the nation's invited.
Sunday at 8:35 on ITV.
Fantastic. Lovely weather at Windsor today. Will it last? Let's find out. Let's take a look at the weekend weather now with tonight's forecaster, James Wright.
From blizzards to pool, driving through Europe, Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Hello there, good evening. Not a bad end to the week, although we've had a few thunderstorms off the Dorset coast, a couple of showers too. The weekend, a little bit different to last weekend, certainly a lot cooler, although things should be quite settled. Why? Well, last week we had low pressure out towards the west of us, and that was sucking up lots of warm air, gave us a bit of a cracker. This weekend all change. Whilst it's going to be settled because the low is now a high, the high operates the opposite way round, so clockwise, and as a result dragging some cooler in from the north. As far as the overnight period goes, well, we'll hold on to the clear spells from today. Little bit of thicker cloud just pushing in out towards the Thames Valley there. Elsewhere, well, temperatures on the cool side, not cold, lows of about 6 Celsius. Through tomorrow morning, then a bit more cloud out towards Hampshire and West Sussex. Elsewhere, generally bright, and actually I wouldn't be surprised to see parts of Dorset getting some lovely sunshine into the afternoon. It will be a touch cooler everywhere, highs of 12 to 14 Celsius. At least it won't be too breezy. Looking ahead to the next few days, well, generally settled, as I say, a little bit of cloud from time to time. Monday looking like the brightest day. Tuesday evening may turn a little bit damp, but as you can see, temperatures not doing too badly for the time of year. Here's your pollen.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather. Keeping a close eye on summer. The pollen count, sponsored by Ilogy Eye Drops.
And if you've got the sniffles and itchy eyes at the moment, it's because we've got high pollen counts during the evening. They'll moderate through the weekend. You can blame birch and oak trees and the early flowering grasses. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Now, in just a moment, the ITV Evening News with Alistair Stewart and Charlene White.
Stacey's got Alec News, so try and join her if you can. But for now, from the team here at ITV Meridian, thank you very much indeed for watching. Enjoy the weekend and join us again very soon. From us all,
good night.
Bye-bye.